The Witch's Curse, Haunting of Blackwood Hollow. In the eerie woods of Blackwood Hollow, the vengeful spirit of a witch executed centuries ago hunts those who dare enter her domain. When a skeptic arrives to debunk the legend, he finds that some curses are terrifyingly real. Welcome to Myth or Reality. Today, we've got a gripping tale that will challenge what you think you know. As you watch, listen closely because at the end, you'll need to decide, is this story a true account, a reality, or untrue, just a cleverly crafted myth? It's up to you to figure it out. So, the story. Abigail Thorne was always different. With her unnervingly pale skin and piercing green eyes, she stood out from the other children, who whispered rumors of her strange powers. As she grew older, the whispers became more sinister. Livestock died, crops withered, and Abigail's presence was blamed for every misfortune. In the hysteria of the time, the townspeople accused her of witchcraft, convinced that she consorted with dark forces. One stormy night, a mob gathered outside her small cottage at the edge of the forest. They dragged her to the town square, where a makeshift pyre awaited. Abigail did not fight. She merely watched the crowd with an eerie calm. As the flames began to rise, she uttered a chilling curse. "You may burn my body, but my spirit will never rest. I will haunt this hollow until the end of days." As her body was consumed by fire, the sky unleashed a violent storm. Thunder roared, and lightning slashed across the sky as if the very heavens were enraged by what had been done. By morning the storm had passed, but the fear Abigail had instilled in the villagers remained, and soon strange occurrences plagued the town. People began to disappear without a trace, and the woods grew wild and twisted as if poisoned by the witch's lingering malice. At night, whispers drifted through the trees, and a heavy dread settled over anyone who dared to enter the forest after dark. Those few who ventured into the woods and returned spoke of a spectral figure, pale, with burning green eyes, who watched them from the shadows. Some returned with minds shattered by the encounter, unable to escape the terror they had faced. Over the years, the legend of Abigail Thorne became an eerie cautionary tale, passed down through generations. Most townsfolk avoided the woods, but there were always those who dismissed the stories as superstition, eager to disprove the ghostly tales. One such skeptic was Thomas Bell, a historian from Boston, fascinated by the witch trials of New England. In 1893, Thomas arrived in Blackwood Hollow, determined to uncover the truth behind the legend. The townsfolk warned him to stay away from the woods at night, but Thomas, confident in his rational mind, ignored them. He believed that the story of Abigail Thorne was nothing more than a product of fear and ignorance, and he set out to prove it. One autumn evening, Thomas ventured into the woods alone. He set up camp in a small clearing, waiting for the night to reveal the truth. As the darkness deepened, the forest grew eerily quiet. Just as Thomas was about to give up, a soft, mournful wail echoed through the trees, growing louder until it seemed to surround him. The temperature plummeted, and the fire he had built sputtered out, leaving him in pitch-black silence. Suddenly, she appeared. Abigail Thorne, her pale face lit by an unnatural light, her green eyes burning with a malevolent fire. She did not speak, but her presence exuded a terror that gripped Thomas's heart. He tried to move, to scream, but his body was paralyzed with fear. The trees seemed to close in around him, their branches twisting like claws. In the darkness, Thomas felt a cold hand around his throat, and as he gasped for breath, Abigail's cruel smile was the last thing he saw. The next morning, Thomas's camp was found abandoned, his belongings untouched, but there was no trace of him. Only a charred patch of earth and a set of footprints leading deep into the forest remained. Thomas Bell was never seen again, his disappearance only fueling the legend of Abigail Thorne. The story of Abigail Thorne and her vengeful spirit continues to haunt Blackwood Hollow, a chilling reminder of the past that refuses to die. Even today, the townspeople speak her name in hushed tones, warning their children to avoid the woods, especially when the nights are long and the wind carries the sound of a distant, mournful wail. For in Blackwood Hollow, the witch who was burned centuries ago still roams the forest, her curse unbroken, her wrath undiminished, waiting for the next unwary soul to wander into her domain. So, what do you think? Is this story fact or fiction? True or untrue? A reality or a myth we made up? Well, here's the answer. The witch's curse, haunting of Blackwood Hollow, is completely made up and just a myth. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Have your own story? Share it in the comments. You might see it in a future video. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next one.